Yeah, that's fine too. That works. Did you want this? All right. What's that? Yes. Just unplug it. There you go. And it's all yours.
All right, so part of what I was going to show about is how I got custom post types to work with WP Touch Pro. Who's used WP Touch Pro? It technically does not work with custom post types. Now, I didn't get it completely working, but
I
haven't gotten there yet.
Okay. Can you get there?
I don't know. It is a PC. I'm not very good at PCs.
What's that?
I'm supposed to get a Mac someday.
Zeek. It's the one called Zeek, and then it's Zeek lowercase, just twice.
Alex, which one's you?
The handsome guy.
Well,
Is it on the screen now?
my eyes.
Yeah, we're good.
The
Which
one with
one's
the
the
pretty
handsome
eyes.
guy?
That's me.
Which one?
The one with the pretty
One wearing a
eyes.
thong.
no,
Oh.
That's the guy with the dream.
that guy's at school.
And
No, the one to the left. The one to
this one, this is you.
yeah.
Because it's a tiny. Okay, there I see it just there.
Are you done now?
Yes.
Okay. You sure?
No, actually not. Step outside.
Oh, no, actually, I'm on the screen now. Okay, so I found this website, Cool Cat Web Designs, WP Touch, and custom templates. I took the idea of this one for making a page template for the specific page I was on, which is the inventory page, and I'll show you the site and the problem I'm having too. So it's a car site I'm working on. The inventory page is actually custom post types. That works fine. This is Genesis. But when you look at it on a mobile site, the 4 posts only show up as 2. It's missing 2 of them. You didn't put enough in there.
Make it work better.
And yes, I had to install Safari so I can get the user agent because it's not in Chrome.
Well, no reason to use Safari. You can use Firefox.
Firefox does it with the user agent?
Well, there's a plugin that you can change.
Yeah, but that's a plugin. I already had Safari there.
Okay. What's
Alright.
the plugin for Firefox?
Yeah, Oscar.
It's called a user agent plugin, I think.
But see, that required me to have to use Firefox, and Firefox has gotten slow and horrid lately.
Yeah,
Also
it's
known
true.
as I have to do work.
Okay, so there's the mobile site for that same site. And there's the inventory page. And when it comes there, it's just the 2 posts instead of the 4 posts that should be there. So that's the problem I'm having. Here's the code I used to make it work. First, I took the index page. I actually made WP Touch uses child themes. I'm assuming the same way WordPress does, but basically made a copy of their classic theme and started creating pages. The original index page, I just hand-coded in a couple of divs and actually just hand-coded the links in there. Just seemed easy because that's all I wanted was 3 buttons. Link to a call button, link to the inventory page, and link to the contact page. The page that actually has the inventory, I did page-inventory for the actual slug name of the page. And I'll open the original so you can see the difference. So here's the, can you actually see that on the screen, or do I need to make it
Can
bigger?
you make it larger?
I think I can. I don't know if Edit Plus will do that. No. You're out of luck. Can't make it larger. If you're blind, you need to come up forward. I'll try to explain it. So at the top on line 7 in page.php is what I changed. It says if WP Touch has posts, and all I did to that is change it to be query post and put the array, post type, the actual post type, and then added the while WP Touch has posts, WP Touch post. And that was because I read this little article that told me to do that.
How little was the article?
Not very long, actually. Maybe a few paragraphs. So technically kind of little. It wasn't a thesis. Smart Alex. Yeah, whatever. So that's what I did. But that got to the extent of where I'm stuck on why it's only showing 2 posts of the custom post types compared to the main site was showing 4. Now, John Brown, I don't know if everybody knows John Brown, I actually was talking to him, and he actually said talk to Brandon, because since it is a Genesis theme, it might be possible that the Genesis
You got while on line 7. Okay,
There's an end while.
okay. That was 7.
No, I haven't gotten a 3.2 on this one yet. Also, to get the WP Touch to work with the custom post types, technically in WP Touch Pro, there's a checkbox that you can say include your functions file. But I read in their forums that sometimes that breaks the site. So what I did, and that the reason why to do that is because the custom post types were set in my functions file. So instead, I pulled those specific functions for the custom post type into its own plugin. That made the custom post types finally show up because I wasn't including the functions file, but still haven't gotten past the only showing two.
Would those two keep rotating, right? I mean, if you keep adding new posts, they
Technically, yeah, they should rotate because what it's only showing is the last two I just did because the other two are older than those two that are showing. Alright, so now I've got just 2010 turned on. No, same thing. So it's not the theme.
And it's the last two.
What happens when you add another one?
If I add another one,
Is it going to show one of them?
that's actually not what I was expecting. It actually took out one of the vets and actually went with an older post, but then I have another post there.
Can I see your query again? Your PHP?
So it's PHP query posts, array, post type, CPT vehicles, while WP touch has post, WP touch the
I
post.
wonder if it's something built into WordPress where it shows that it only limits you to the number of posts based on your settings.
See, I thought that too. My settings show 10.
I'll go to your settings for a second. I'm wondering if it's pulling off of some certain different kind of setting. That's where I was running into trouble. The other thing you can try is under queried posts. What if we put a custom set of arguments in there to see if that's what the limit is?
Yeah,
To force it.
Put a number of posts.
I tried that. I even did the post type to be, number of posts equals 10.
Then what I'm saying is not gonna matter if that didn't work.
Yeah, I didn't change anything.
There's no other plugins installed or anything like that?
I don't remember what I have in there, but I've got something.
Is there any sort of you are using a WP touch function. I'm wondering if there's something in WP touch that's limiting it.
And that's what I'm thinking, that I'm just running into something because it's technically not supported.
Especially if it's theme based. If it's not theme based, you just switch to a default theme. It's got to be something in WP touch. It's the only thing you haven't really excluded or taken out of the equation.
Right.
Are there any? I don't use WP touch personally. Are there any settings for WP touch?
Nothing that had anything to do with how many posts to show. And what's really weird, I did that third vehicle, and now that third one actually sort of shows up without anything on it.
That's
Ignore the price thing that's there, because that's something I'm playing with. But that's weird that it's doing that. So maybe I'm wondering if I have a problem with the actual custom post types.
In that loop, have you tried going after something that isn't a custom post type?
Yeah.
Just change what it's calling for.
Like do say a category or something.
or just a default, just
Or-
post,
Or posts. Post type is posts.
post,
Post. I'm assuming you have more than two of those.
Now I've got 3 blog posts.
Okay.
Hmm.
That's,
So that's
That
weird.
tells me it's got to be something inside of WP touch.
Something inside
Yeah.
of WP touch. Okay.
go back to the code.
What do you want to look at?
WP touch app posts.
Um,
What was that defined? Where'd you find
I
it?
have no idea. Somewhere in the theme.
Maybe never. Can you grab through the code and see where that is?
I haven't figured that. You're over my head now. I know exactly what you're saying. How to do it with this program, don't know.
Okay.
You can't do like a recursive search from the top on the. I think Edit Plus lets you do that.
Finding files.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's the other thing I was
Is it-
thinking about, because I'm doing this in a child theme and I didn't copy over all the files. I'm thinking I might retry this and actually start editing the original source theme.
I don't think it's that. So my gut's telling me it's something inside of WP touch because you're using specific WP touch commands which are screwing it up.
Yeah.
Right.
His loop here is while WP touch have posts.
That's I
Something
think that's
in
the
there.
problem.
Something in there.
Okay. So I even tried taking that out.
You still need a while
You need a while-have post.
Okay.
Because you have to get your loop going.
Right now, you don't have a loop.
How about make, instead of doing the
Take out
wild,
take out WP touch underscore. Just say while-have posts. And yeah, in the post.
like that?
And the no, not yet.
Take out the
That
WP
one
touch
too,
there. Because then you're using built-in
We're
WordPress.
using the WordPress
Yeah.
loop instead of the WP touch loop. Okay. Makes sense. I'm understanding it.
I'm just surprised I can see this far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still the same thing.
Now turn it back to the
Post
custom
type.
post type.
Oh,
So,
Sarah.
yeah,
Still where we were.
something WP touch seems to be taking over still because
Okay.
because you're using that user agent. You have this installed, so.
Well,
It is nice and quiet. Everybody's listening to me.
and going, non-coder. But at least that's how I got it to work. So it is possible for those who might have been wanting to try. But I haven't completely gotten the whole thing to work yet. But I got my little homepage to work. I feel special on that one.
That's cool.
If anyone wants the code that I used in the website, just let me know and I'll email it to you, for example. And that was all I had to talk about.
Is there a I've got a question for the group. Is there another mobile theme framework that's out there besides this crappy?
Isn't it
Carrington's supposed to be.
Carrington's dated though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the other thing. I was gonna try it, but it's dated.
This one's not bad. I mean, you
It's
can.
not good either.
I think what I don't like about it is, I think it's got so much extra stuff that's custom built, which makes it harder
Mm-hmm.
to figure out. But I was gonna try Carrington next, even though it's dated. It still looks like it might be an option.
It looks pretty good on the iPad and
Yeah.
on the iPhone. Both of them look fine. The iPad looks great, especially in landscape mode.
The problem is if you're doing anything custom, if you start to do custom stuff with Warren's doing,
It makes it
you're
harder.
running into problems.
Immediately. It's really set to do one thing. It's set to do blogging.
Right.
So it's really set to
Yeah.
do date-based stuff. And once you fall outside of that, it starts breaking quickly.
Well, it's even the same problem with Genesis. Once you start going to custom post types, you gotta start adding new stuff. It makes it a little harder.
Now, what if you were to put? I mean, I know you can choose in WP Touch to just display certain pages, not the entire site.
Right.
So what if you were just to display the custom post type in a page and use that as display page?
Well, that's technically how the page is already set up. The page is actually in the Genesis actually gives you a way where you can just use a custom field to do a query arch. So that's how it shows up on the main site. And so a main implementation of WP Touch, nothing shows up.
What's the URL again for your
CRAmotors.com.
no for the page that you want to?
Oh, what, the example code?
No, just the actual. URL.
CRAmotors.com/inventory.
Okay.
But here, let me turn on the original, the main child theme, and I'll show you what it looks like.
Take a look at what John Brown tweeted at you.
Yeah, I've been emailing him back and forth.
You know, in the
I
post,
like what 2011
posted a
does.
link on Twitter right now.
Okay.
What does 2011 do?
Oh, it's responsive. So
2011 on a mobile device?
it's responsive. So I think I misspelled it.
No, it's
Oh yeah, you don't forget to change it back to
So
the
it just
custom
does-
theme that you have.
It shows
Oh, okay.
the same thing, but it's
Still-
laid out.
So here's the main child theme. And it gives you the blog
I'll show that in a
layout.
second. I'll show that up here.
And you click on that and go to inventory. And that's all it shows. The page actually doesn't pull in the CPT at
I
all.
see. So that was your first problem.
That was the first problem. So I got that problem. But then it's only, now I'm stuck on why is it only showing 2 posts? Or now it's showing 3 and 2.5.
Is that one cool?
What was it? WP Tap.
Does anybody have any experience with WP Tap?
There's
That's what Dave's looking at down here.
Is it
Is that for a fee?
Yeah, I guess they're premium themes that have a matching mobile theme.
I know the one I hate is OnSwipe.
On swipe?
That one's
We had a
awful.
little demo of that here a few months ago.
Oh.
The demo was neat. I've never played it.
Yeah,
I played with it.
I've
It's
heard
not
about
ready
that.
for
it
prime
annoys
time.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not ready for prime time.
Okay. So let's talk about a couple of mobile gotchas since we're on this topic. And we've talked about these here in the past, but we really didn't talk about them very technically. one of my beefs with, thank you, Lauren, I appreciate it. One of my beefs with WP Touch is that everything that you do is, if you're using any sort of caching mechanism, it's not going to work. It's going to conflict immediately with WP
I
Touch.
thought it integrated with WP Supercache if you configure it.
Well,
Absolutely.
yes, yes and no. When I'm talking about scalability, I'm talking about highly scalable sites. I don't typically use WP Supercache or W3 Total Cache. We're typically using something like Squid or Varnish. When you're using those kinds of systems, your PHP is hosed. It's going to sit behind that caching layer. It's never going to work. Part of the problem is somebody visits your site on a mobile device and they cached your page as mobile. Then for the next however long you've got it cached, people are going to see that mobile page. That's a problem with doing a mobile site as a PHP based, as a server side based solution. For most sites, it's going to work. If you're not doing any caching, if you're not really a scalable site, it's going to work just fine for you. When you're talking about highly scalable websites, that's where you start to run into problems with a server-based mobile solution. Now there are JavaScript-based solutions that will do kind of the same thing, but you run into other problems in getting it to sort of talk to WordPress and configure your theme. So there's not really a great solution out there for doing a dual caching solution. What I see a lot is, and I haven't done this myself, but I see a lot where the mobile site will redirect you to a subdomain. So if you go to Facebook, it'll only take you to m.facebook.com. So if I'm on my iPhone, I can't even see the regular Facebook site. So I'm seeing a lot of sites that are doing that now. So they'll actually be maintaining a whole separate mobile set of templates for their site. Yeah, I know, versus the normal site. One of the things, Mike.
It's fine.
Mike. One of the things Mike was I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names. But one of the things Mike was just showing me is that 2011 actually looks really decent on a mobile device. So let me see if I can pull up. Let me see if I have a 2011 site here I can pull up.
You can also go to my test site if you want. Does anybody know if there's a Chrome equivalent to the Firefox extension you talked about?
What browser is that?
Chrome.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
That's
You
the
do it
good one.
natively in Safari. Anyone? Bueller?
It does what?
This.
The same thing. That does
So the user agent thing. I just installed the user agent stuff on Firefox. So I put it on the WordPress group. This plugin for real browsers.
User agent.
For browsers,
For slow browsers. Sorry. So this is the same thing you do in Safari. So if you set the user agent, that'll tell the site, basically spoofs the site to say this is coming from an iPhone rather than a browser. One of the things I like that I use in Firefox quite a bit is if you have Web Developer installed, it has a default resize tool. So I use this quite a bit, especially when I'm developing things for mobile. So if I choose iPhone, it'll take my browser and automatically size it for as an iPhone. So it knows some of the default sizes in there. So you can, without having to go back and forth between the computer and the iPhone, you can do it very quickly here. So you might open up a couple of different agents inside of your browsers, just having separate windows for when you're developing. Sorry, Mike. What's the site? What's your?
Oh, my test site, trunk.wp.mschroeder, MSCHRODER.com. It doesn't quite.
It's not quite.
It's not quite right.
Well, but it is the mobile. That is the mobile layout, right? Or not?
Yes.
I mean, it looks good on your iPhone. So 2011's already built into. Okay, there it is. So there it is on an iPad. So does 2011 have user agent detection built into it?
No, it uses it's responsive design, so it uses CSS and Java.
Gotcha.
Mostly CSS to read.
So it's resizing itself based on the width.
Yeah, it has completely different layouts depending on
Gotcha.
what you're connecting with.
Okay, cool. Very cool.
Wouldn't it be that the easiest way to go about it to use the media queries, the CSS media queries for CSS3?
I don't know what you mean.
Well,
I don't have any
basically,
experience with it.
Yeah.
in CSS3 you have the options to add this what are called media queries,
Mhm.
and it says basically on the on the size of the screen, it removes parts or rearranges the layout and does a lot of other stuff to your website. And basically, you gotta code all that into your theme. But the advantage is the browsers on all the phones, tablets, and iPads. All those browsers are kind of like the latest version, and they're working with CSS3, so it's really
Okay.
easy. I could probably put a demo next time.
Great. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'll do a little research on that as well.
I think
Alright.
I can show you one site that I have. It has all those media queries in it. It's
Okay.
the Bones theme.
Okay.
It comes built into it.
What's the URL?
It's
Did you want to show? Do you want to come up and show it? or-
no.
Okay.
I'm too shy.
Alright.
I was just I'm trying to find it on my hard drive, and I was just gonna like. I
No
don't know
problem.
how I would show it to you.
But the bones thing, you're saying where is that?
Oh, okay. If you go to Accounting on the Go and drill down to the style, accountingonthego.com, and
Accounting? Was that?
ACCOUNTINGONTHEGO.
I think I got it. Okay.
There, and then find the CSS for that, the actual file, not the Firebug, and it has at the bottom it has all the mobile device stuff. At the very bottom.
Yeah, I'm there. Well, we can-
Where'd it go? Wait a minute. No, that's default. To go style.css.
Okay.
There it is. Okay.
What?
And Anton is where'd he go?
Right
Oh, there. Is that what you're talking about? This stuff in here? Can you see it?
Like media only screen and min width.
Yep.
That's it.
So that's built into Bones.
That's built into Bones.
Okay. Great.
And I've been messing with it, but I have questions for Anton.
All right.
Because it sounds like he has more.
No, I haven't
Yeah,
played
more
with it yet.
What?
I haven't played with it yet. I've just read some tutorials and read about it, and
Because it looks like you have to write rules inside of rules. And
it kind of is.
I haven't seen any examples of that, and I don't know where to ask that.
I wish I could answer it.
Yeah.
I know where you can find a good tutorial about it. It's
Do you know what I'm talking about, though? It looks like rules inside of rules. They're not regular.
Sure. Go right ahead.
I don't know the exact address. Let's see.
It's the future. Honest.
Has anybody else played with the Bones theme?
No, I don't think so. I'm a loser. Nobody likes it.
Why doesn't anybody like it?
I don't know. It wasn't bad. It did what I needed it to do, and I'm not sorry I used it.
Did you pay for it? Is it
No, it's free.
It's free?
And actually, at the very beginning, I had a couple questions from the author, and then after that, it was like, I just figured
Oh
it
my
out.
gosh.
Ruby for newbies.
It says Ruby.
Oh, and that too?
Yeah, they have. I think this is the one. It's like a video tutorial.
Cool.
And it has all the info.
Can somebody put this on the WordPress group?
It's net.topplus.com, and then you gotta search for media queries.
Okay.
I'll do it real quick.
I wouldn't have known to Google for that. I kept looking for CSS3, and I didn't know what was
Yeah,
used.
the name of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lauren.
Welcome.
Anything
I can do for you?
Sorry about the bunny trail.
I'm still using Facebook. What's Facebook?
I'm on Google Plus.
This won't be.
Yay. All right. Cool. Any other comments or questions on mobile stuff before we move on? What was the other one that you found?
WP Tap.
WP Tap.
Yeah, it looks like they're just making premium themes that also have a mobile looking thing.
Like if you buy one, it has a mobile with it.
That's what it looks like. Yeah. Go to their themes.
Yeah, so they've got you get a theme and a mobile theme in one.
Yeah, and I'm untested, no idea who they are.
Okay.
Use at your own risk.
This has been a display.
Yeah, there you go.
Anybody ever used these? No? Okay. Moving on. Alex, you want to talk about press work before we move into Sure. All right, cool. Like I said, Brandon mentioned this just about 45 minutes before you mentioned it to me. So
Yes.
you guys, it was like you were channeling each other. Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, that's right.
Cheaters.
Always possible.
I think we're getting to the point now where we just need like an Apple TV attached to this thing, and we can just push
Oh, that'd
it
be
in.
cool.
There we go.
In the new office. We'll do that in the new office. Yeah. So everybody know we're moving across the street soon.
Really?
Yes.
We'll never find it.
No dates. Yeah.
Not quite.
Okay.
We'll just keep them both. We'll keep them both.
All right. How do I make this so I can see that screen on my laptop too?
Here.
In your settings.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go up to under
video settings and mirror.
You can't see his
under
on
your
screen.
monitor.
I'll do it for you here. Oh, okay. Oh, you've got it mirrored in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Other way.
He's driving blind, folks.
Driving blind.
John told me to ask you that. You can talk to me about Genesis. It's a Genesis site. This is the
Oh man, I can't see.
Where's display? Yeah, there it is.
Doing a great job. Yeah.
I'm doing my very best I can backwards and on which way are you on your monitor here? Nope, not that way. This way.
Arrangement. And, yeah.
Arrangement showing that.
code for the floors there. It's always clear to post it.
There you go.
All right, there we go. Perfect. Thank you.
All right. So, what I'm going to talk about is just a quick something that popped up over at WordCamp Montreal just over the weekend. So there's a new theme framework that was announced. It's called Presswork, and I guess the response to it has been fairly positive according to the developers of the project. And what it is it's a drag and drop theme framework, and in the same vein as page lines, hopefully not as sucky, and also Headway. Now I've used both I've used Headway and I played with page lines a little bit. I definitely do like Headway. So the big differentiator in Presswork over the other themes that I mentioned is that they provide a drag and drop functionality to the site live. That's something that neither of the other two themes are able to do at this time. So that said, I'll go ahead and just kind of jump in and show you really quick. So basically, you can go to any page within your site and enable the drag and drop editor, and you can change the certain elements of the site to however you want. So it's pretty flexible in that way. So now that I have it enabled, I can take the main content area and I can drag it to the right or something like that. Okay. Okay. Well, let's try this instead. Boo. User fail. Okay. There we go. That's about the extent of the drag and drop functionality right now. So
Awesome.
it is for what it is right now. It's very limited in its functionality, especially when compared against a more seasoned framework like Headway. So
for that same page lines.
yeah, you know what, the framework that shall not be named. So there's a lot of things that need to happen with this before I would say, you know, go out and use it for like a full-on website that you're going to do. I'm just playing with it on a personal site, and I would recommend all of you to do it. It's free. Some of the highlights of it is that it is HTML5 ready, so that's pretty cool. The other thing that's coming is they've got some premium child themes coming, and as I understand, the developers do say that you can use Presswork as a parent theme. So any of you familiar with child themes, you should be able to use this for child themes, but there's really no tutorials or anything that are available right now to show you how to do that, or if there's any gotchas that you need to be aware of. Another thing that I thought was pretty cool, since we're on the subject of child themes and just theme development in general, one of the things that I like about theme frameworks like Genesis or Thesis is they provide an extensive hook and filter capability so that you can hook in various functionality or design elements into any part of the website. So, and one of the things that sometimes you wonder about is, well, where the hell are all these hooks at? So one of the things that Presswork does is it actually provides you a visual reference someday. So, but what it does is it does provide you a visual reference so you know what all your hooks are, so you know where your elements and where your code is going to be placed. One of the things that isn't available, or one of the other things that isn't available right now, is an easy way for a designer to enter their own hooks. So you have to go into your functions.php file and create your own hooks, but at least you have an easy reference of knowing where those hooks are going to go to. So that's one thing that I like about the framework. And obviously, there's a little layout context right here where you can set various options for the main content, the sidebar, and things of that nature. What I can do here is I can set the size of the main content. Just set that to 300, and it should just kind of resize on the fly like that.
Are those changes turn? I mean, do you need to like save in, or
you do need? Yes, you do need to save, and the save button is right here at the bottom. And it saves all your options, and of course there's a reset button too, so you can just kind of blow away everything that you do. So it's pretty easy to do some very basic editing and changes to it, but you're still going to have to get into the code in terms of you know, writing your own hooks, and also just, you know, creating your own CSS to really make significant changes to personalize and customize the framework to your needs. But overall, I mean, like I said, from what I've seen of it so far, it seems very solid, very polished. In speaking with the development team on it, they do have a bundle of plugins that they're working on in addition to the premium child themes that they're going to be putting out that are specific to Presswork to add additional functionality. As to when their child themes are coming out and that plugin bundle, there's no word yet. But they do have their code posted on GitHub, so if there's anyone that wants to contribute to the project, it's there for you to download the source and, you know, dig deep into it. So some of the other basic widgets that it has is, you know, it just has a basic social network plugin here that you can just kind of enter information into, and and then you get a little Twitter button. So I don't know if that makes your heart sing or not, but you know, at least you don't have to install a plugin for it. But
the text tool I read earlier, because Dave pointed this out to me earlier, that they've got Google Font integration. Is that what
yes, yeah, thank you. Yeah, one of the other cool things about it, in addition to the HTML5 readiness of it, is that it does have the ability for you to select whatever Google fonts you want to use. So that's built in, so you don't have to go in and go get the code and put it in the theme yourself. So yeah, there's a couple things that it's ready to do out of the gate that are nice, but it's still new. It's not mature. I don't know that I would recommend this to other people in terms of drag and drop frameworks. I still think Headway is definitely the way to go in that sense.
Can you show us, does it have any settings on the dashboard?
There's no settings on the dashboard. Everything, it's fairly minimal, and that's kind of where they go back to the differentiating factor of being able to edit your site live. So you can go to any page within your site and edit anything from the front from the front page or whatever page you go to, because they didn't want you to have this nebulous dashboard panel to go into to edit all these different settings. So it's so far I'm impressed. It's something I'm going to keep an eye on, and I definitely think it's worth trying out and playing with if you guys really like playing with this stuff. So any questions, comments, or complaints? I swear I put on deodorant today, so. Questions, comments?
How long has it been around, do you know?
You just don't get it, do you? The framework was just announced this past weekend as part of WordCamp Montreal. So that's when it was announced. So, I mean, it's days, or maybe a day or two old. So I just saw this on WP Candy on Sunday morning. So, yeah, it's very, very new. So the knocks I make against it, I'm fully aware that it's brand new. It's like, telling a newborn you suck at life, and they're just going to lay in there. They can't do anything. So, anything else?
That's what I did to all my kids.
This is why you're my role model.
You gotta train them early.
Anybody? Bueller? All right.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, I got one for the group. Has anybody seen a plugin or a block of code that maybe used for beta testing that says like the server environment, the plugins installed on a WordPress site, the theme running, the sort of system status of the site that you're sitting on? Anybody seen that?
I could display it.
Server Buddy?
It has some of those things, not everything.
Okay.
It's the dashboard one, right? It shows like a little dashboard widget.
It's a very friendly name.
Server Buddy.
Everybody needs a server buddy.
Yeah, plugin buddy.
Plugin Buddy?
Yeah, it's from
Oh, killer.
Manage WP. They recommend using that to make sure that what Manage
Well,
WP
Server Buddy tests server configuration to look for problems with hosting configuration and determine compatibility with various WordPress themes and plugins.
Awesome.
Will it blend?
I'm just making that up off the cuff. Anything else, Dave?
No, that was perfect. Thank you very much.
All right. Go ahead. No, it's okay.
It's going to be smart ass.
That's not allowed here.
Go ahead. All right. Let's talk a little bit about child themes. Cool? All right. I'm going to do a very quick intro. I'm going to hand it over to Brandon, who's specifically going to talk about Genesis child themes. Are you ready?
He needs to finish the presentation.
Yeah, apparently.
He's writing it.
Just a quick show of hands. Who's created some sort of child theme in the room from scratch? Okay.
No.
Okay. creating a child theme, actually getting started is fairly simple. So that's what I'm going to do first, and then again I'm going to kick it over to Brandon if he's paying attention. So I've got a local install here of a site that I've used often in the WordPress group called Yakbox. So what I'm going to do here is create a child theme for 2011. So I am using WordPress 3.2. I have 2011 already installed. To create a child theme, I have my themes directory open. All you do is create a new folder. We'll call it Zengi. The only thing you need in a child theme folder is a style sheet. That's the only thing that's required inside of a child theme. Okay? I'll show you what I mean. So I'm gonna go ahead and just copy in a style sheet. So you need just something called style.css. Because what you're going to do is reference that parent theme, and basically you're telling WordPress, bring in all of the files from this parent theme except for the files that I specifically override. That's what a child theme is. And that's why if you've played with Genesis or you've been playing with any of the child themes for a while, this makes it so that the parent theme can be updated separately and it doesn't affect your child theme. It's much better than going in and messing with the core code of a built-in theme. So I'm on the WordPress codex. There is a page, if you search the WordPress codex, there's a page called Child Themes. This will give you all the instructions, and I'll post this to OC WordPress after this. This will give you all the instructions of what I'm about to do. Most of the magic happens here. Where you name your theme. So basically, let me blow this up. So you're going to name your theme very much like you'd name a parent theme. You give it a name, description, you give it the author, and then template is really where the magic happens. So template tells WordPress which parent theme to pull the master files from. That's where the hook is. So that's what hooks a child theme to a parent theme. You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
Just didn't think it was that easy.
It's that easy. Okay, that's really all it takes. So I'm going to go back into the style sheet.
Besides, you're not really you. You're a clone.
I'm my clone. Yes, tonight. So we'll give this a theme name. Child theme for 2011. Now the template name has to be what it's called, what its folder name is inside of the themes folder. So you don't want to call it the actual name of the theme. You want to call it what it's named inside of the directory. That's how the themes get basically get ingested into WordPress. So WordPress gives everything an ID inside of those themes folder, and their ID is what the folder is named. So you can see here this folder is named 2011. That's the actual core name of the theme. Even though the spelled out name is capital 20 space capital 11, that's the name you want to give it. That's where basically you're telling it to pull from this folder, is what that template name means. So that can be a little confusing at first, but that's the name that you want.
So even though you created Zengi, we're actually working with the folder that you're talking about right now.
Well, what I'm doing is this is the theme I just created.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell it, pull in all the files from 2011. Okay? So that's what this template name does. Okay. But the important thing here is I'm using this lowercase name of the theme, which is really the name of the folder. That's what you want to use for that template. Okay? I now have a child theme.
And that's the only exact thing you have to have in that slug.
That's it.
That last template line.
That's it.
Everything else is kind of descriptive. And
that's it. That's specific. These first 3 lines are specific to my child theme. This is what's telling WordPress to pull in the files from that parent theme. That's where the magic happens.
You can misspell anything else.
Absolutely. All this stuff is specific to the child theme. Okay. So let me go ahead and save this. Actually, I'm gonna leave it unsaved for a second. We'll go to WordPress. I will go to themes. Okay, so there's 2011, there's 2010. Okay, I'm going to go back to my child theme. Now I'll save this style sheet. I will refresh, and you see I have a new theme called, oh, there's a second page. Sorry, there it is, Zengi. So that's the theme. This is in WordPress. It looks like a brand new theme, but you can tell here it actually says Zengi uses templates from 2011. So it'll tell you this is a child theme. Okay. So that's all you need to do to get started. What's that? You're a child theme. It actually gives me some information here. It says the template files are located in themes/2011. So that's where it's actually pulling the master files from. The style sheet files are located in themes/Zengi, and this is important. I'm going to explain this in a second. But there's an important distinction as to where the template is and where the style sheet lives. Okay, it's an actual distinction, and it is important to your WordPress code moving forward if you start to play with child themes. But the important thing here is it says, again, Zengi uses templates from 2011. Changes made to the templates will affect both themes. So if I make a change to the 2011 theme, it will affect my child theme. Doesn't work the opposite. If I make change to my child theme, it doesn't affect the parent theme. That's the key here.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
What if you're already down the road a piece and you made a bunch of inserts or edits on the main theme? Now you decide to add a child theme.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go back and get rid of all those edits and then make one the child
Here's
theme?
why that's not future-proof. Okay, if that theme comes out with an update, say it's not your theme, it's a theme you've downloaded or it's a premium theme, comes out with an update, and you download that, it's going to overwrite all of the stuff that you've done. That's where it's key.
So you want to go back and get rid of all the stuff you already did, put it into the child theme.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
Yeah, I would start fresh from I would start with a fresh install of your parent theme.
Right.
Make all your changes to your child theme.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. The next step here, and this is again, this is straight from this page. You don't have to do this, but this is typically how a child theme works. What this is saying is import that style sheet from the parent theme. So give me a place to start. All right. What this is doing is this will bring in that style from the parent theme, and then to build the child theme, you're then going to be overwriting certain styles. So again, if you do it this way, you're not necessarily going in and affecting the core code of your parent theme. You're just going to be overwriting styles inside of your child theme. And this since you're bringing in this style sheet, this gives you a place to start. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that.
Before you say that,
Show
what happens when you don't do that.
Sure. Actually, if I go to my child theme, if I activate my child theme now, I'm not going to have much of a theme.
Terrible, but
It's probably, we'll look at it. I've got no theme actually because I have no style sheet. So, yeah.
that's what a lot of people end up doing.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Thank you. So I'm gonna go. We'll go ahead and save this now with the imported style sheet. Go back in. We'll reload our theme. Now I've got 2011. So thank you. Okay. So I've imported. I went up a directory and pulled in the style sheet from 2011. Okay. Now I can start overriding certain styles within the theme, and that's sort of the point of the child theme. So let's find something simple here. Let's just grab the background. So the body is gray. So in my child theme, I'm going to just add a new style sheet here. Okay, I'm just adding a new background, and we go reload my theme. Now I've got red. So what I'm doing is rather than building a whole new style sheet, I'm just overriding certain styles. Okay. The one thing to know about child themes is I'm gonna import every single file from that parent theme except for two. There's two files that are in addition to rather than importing. One of them is style.css, like we just saw. When you do it in this way, all I'm doing is basically I'm importing the first style, then I'm overriding style sheets. So you really are using both style sheets together. The second one is functions.php. If I have a separate functions.php in my child theme, it doesn't overwrite the functions.php in my parent theme. It adds two. Okay, so your child theme actually takes both sets of functions.php, makes them one big file. Every other file overwrites. So if I add a new single.php inside of my child theme, it's going to ignore single.php in my parent theme. Okay, that's how that works. So those are the only two files to be aware of. And again,
that's important to remember. If you write a function in your child theme that's the same name as the one in your parent, you're going to have a collision because it's using both.
that's correct. You'll actually get a script error. Correct? Yeah. So if you write a function inside of your functions.php inside of your child theme that is the same name as what's in functions.php in your parent theme, you will get a script error because there's a collision there.
And how do you override one that's in the original?
Well, let's look at that. So let's look at that.
Did you say that?
I'll show you. So let's override index.php. Okay. Oops. Do it that way. I'm going to go ahead and copy it. Get back in my new theme. I'm just going to paste in index.php. That's my new index.php for the child theme. I haven't made any changes, but that's when I use the theme called Zangi, it's going to use that index.php rather than my parent one. Okay. So if I go in now, and this is the way to be overriding template parts for your theme.
Well, then if you copied the functions.php and put it in there, would it do the same thing?
If I copied functions in, you don't want to do that. If I copy functions in, we're going to have problems because that's when you have script conflicts.
Okay.
Okay. But let's go ahead and I'll just throw in here.
Well, that's like the main difference between a child and just making a duplicate of it and renaming it.
That's right. So I just threw in some extra text in this index.php. Where to go? I think it's this. Let's use something else. There it is. It's this little piece of text here is what I just threw that into index.php to show you that now it's using that template file rather than the one of my parent. So that's how you start overriding files if you want. Make sense?
But you don't have to override that.
Don't have to override anything. You can just do style sheet adjustments, and then you have a brand new theme. Okay. This will work for any theme, not just the built-in WordPress theme.
Well, not anything, right?
Okay.
Well, like I think, have you guys heard of Atahualpa?
Which one?
Atahualpa?
Yeah.
I don't think that
one doesn't work.
I don't think it will work at all.
This will work for 99% of the themes.
just delete them.
What I don't know. I'm not familiar with it.
They tried to do it all themselves. With everything. I mean, it's great if you go with their. What's it called?
I take it back. This will not work with page lines.
I think there's a couple like that.
I wouldn't recommend doing this with most frameworks.
Yes, that's right.
We're going to talk about the framework that works in a second, but you're not going to do this with most frameworks. You're going to do this with static themes.
Oh, so you're not going to do this with Genesis?
You are.
Oh, you
We're
are?
going to get there in a
Okay,
minute. I said with most frameworks, like page lines.
Oh, yeah, no.
Now, aren't there some things with like let's say I wanted to change an image. Do I have to move the entire image directory with the image and then also update the style sheet?
That's a great segue. Let's talk about what Dave's talking about. So if you've ever used a function call inside of WordPress called template URL, blog info template URL, that'll give you basically it's a way to soft code a directory into your theme. So template URL gives you the front part of the URL that leads you to your theme directory, and then you can call specific things that are within your theme. Okay, because you're using a child theme, template URL now points to the parent theme. Okay, that's the one difference. Remember I said there's a style sheet directory and a template directory. Those are actually how they refer to things inside of WordPress, and I will post this page as well. But you can see now right here. This page is I'm just looking at the function reference for blog info. Okay, these two top ones are new. There's now style sheet directory and style sheet URL. Okay, so style sheet directory is what you're going to use if you want to point to something that is in your child theme. So if you are using an image, you want to use style sheet directory /images/ whatever the image name is. Okay, if you want an image that's in your parent theme that you know is already there, you use template directory /images/images/ whatever the image name is. So that's the difference. Template directory is always going to point to the parent theme. Style sheet directory is how you get to your child theme. That make sense?
It sounds like it's like in transition.
What's
Like they
that?
haven't really like decided on, oh, we should name it child theme directory instead of style sheet directory.
Yeah, I guess. It's yeah, sure.
I mean, it just sounds like it's in transition, you know.
I've just gotten used to it now.
In the parent theme, those values are going to be the same. But
Yes.
in the child theme, one of those points to the parent. So when you need the parent for the images from the parent, that's when you use that one.
I'm used to just typing in style sheet directory now because most of the things I call or come from the directory of the theme that I'm working in. So that's usually what I'm just type by default, unless I know specifically something needs to come from the parent rather than the child.
But a well-designed theme is going to use the proper names so that you can make a child theme from it, and it'll work and be nice and fun.
That's correct. Makes sense. So that's the one caveat I wanted to mention is this function call. If you are using blog info, this is where you have to be. You get familiar. Be careful with this. And this can trip.
That one might already be taken.
That's really neat. All Genesis.
Very Franklin. I already, you know.
Little fluffy thing.
That's a fluffy. Here's on.
Where do we here? Roll Rock. It's not beer. It's like water. Dude! Steve, you don't have chance in this place. No, Steve, I'm Steve's ego check.
I've got serious problems with it.
She had an Airedale and boxer. LinkedIn. You're over this one. You know the Airedale. Airedale commercial. The Airedale's out.
Anybody seen Super 8?
Really sweet.
You like it?
I was surprised.
I love
Not
it.
what I expected at all. The only thing I didn't like was the.
Especially when everybody dies
It's the 70s. That's what I hated. It's like, well, 60s or 70s?
80s.
80s.
Early 80s.
Early
It's the early 80s.
Oh,
Maybe
no.
late 70s.
Really? It looks
Sure.
like 70s to me.
No.
Oh, 70s. That's right.
If you like Spielberg, you'll love Super 8.
The restoration was great. I couldn't believe how good the CGI was.
Like 5 or 6 times.
I mean, that.
And the ending, when everybody died, it was fantastic.
Yeah, I know. It was awesome.
Did you just ruin the movie?
Uh-huh.
Thanks, dude.
It was not what I expected at all.
By 8:30, I'm back to my cave.
It's
Which I liked.
it's Goonies, E.T., and Close Encounters all rolled into one.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
It's got pirates. It doesn't have with no pirates.
Actually, yeah, we had that one pirate. I mean, you know.
Are you going to talk and do
Pirates and Transformers. And they even had an X-Men. That's why it's called Super 8.
Who is Abram?
There were 8 superheroes.
Those are the horrible bosses that came out.
That was good.
Did you see
I
it?
don't watch anything like that in theater. I don't.
Yeah, that's
It
what
really- it was
what
so
everybody
good.
says.
Oh my god. And Jennifer Aniston has been great.
Oh no, she's funny.
She was good.
Yeah, she can be really funny.
Really good. I was surprised. The guys are
Well, that's not the first time Kevin Spacey. I haven't seen it yet. That's not the first time Kevin Spacey plays that kind of role.
No, and he's so good at it. You want to tell
There
him.
was a movie called Swimming with Sharks years ago. He's fantastic.
Oh, wow. God, that's like a
10 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, that was a good salesman.
So you're at least
Wait, he played salesman?
No, he's a Hollywood exec. That's Swimming with Sharks.
Let's fight.
You don't see a lot of movies with him where he plays the perfect asshole.
Surprisingly good.
Swimming with Sharks?
Yeah.
Oh, Swimming with Sharks is great. You want to kill him in that movie too.
Yeah.
But Jason Bateman's totally reinvented himself. He's a fantastic straight man. He's so great. Straight man is like a
Wait,
comedy term.
oh, okay.
I need business.
On the other side of the
So,
No, you don't call it
Child film.
disgusting looking.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. Definitely worth it.
Okay. Sweet.
There's a movie that came out for Red just recently that didn't. It was only in theaters a couple weeks. That I highly recommend. I saw it in theaters. It's called Cedar Rapids. Ed Helms and John C. Reilly and Anne Heche. It's about a trade show. It's about a bunch of people go to a trade show.
Really?
It's unbelievable. You'll die laughing. It's a fantastic Cedar Rapids.
You think it's on the
Yeah. I don't think it's on streaming yet.
I don't do it well,
It'll blow you away.
Yeah, usually these movies like Horrible Bosses to DVD.
You're legit.
But this was good.
You're a hacker.
That's another movie.
If you're a hacker, what am I?
Completing that.
Excluding Friday.
Well, I think the best way of describing on Friday is just my favorite quotes.
Yeah, like
I think
oh,
standing there.
I've done a lot, just not that.
That was really impressive.
Did you see it too?
You see it all the time.
Well, I did post it on notes in WordPress.
Yeah.
No, I meant to do it on my wall.
Right.
What's that?
Oh, that was the best. I like the drunken rant.
Why do you have to be that way?
So we did.
Everybody see Lauren's drunken rant on the Facebook group the other night?
Yes, that was hilarious. That was awesome.
You're welcome.
That was awesome. Yes, that was awesome.
It was entertaining.
Of course, I didn't get the post that,
Love your failed attempt at a chat with me.
what was I supposed to say?
My failed attempt at a chat.
Something you said?
Well, wasn't you?
That was the first part.
We were chatting, and that's what I was getting back.
It got to the point where I literally had a green icon. I was like, hey, what's up?
Here's Lauren. He's a happy drunk.
That's awesome.
You did that.
Someone get a picture of that?
I want to
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly it.
Dude, those are my kids. Those are for my kids, man. That's messed up.
I'm a kid. I'm dating myself.
Like you're sitting there.
I heard that.
Totally.
So anyway.
I think we got the right amount.
Missed it.
We nailed the pizza this time.
Hell yeah.
I just want to
Black
make sure I didn't want to. I didn't want to throw it out.
Somebody else.
I got it.
Thanks for the courtesy.
Relax.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to show two examples of sites that we've done in Genesis, child themes, and both of them took really little to actually put together. This one is almost all style sheets, and it's really basic, but this I'm like, can we? Let's see. Yes. Okay. So you really can't see that, can you? How do you? What's the thing to make it? Oh no!
Did you steal my pointer?
Yeah, I did actually. Sorry. There's a way to turn it. Okay. Well, hold on. All right. So. Okay. So for this theme, running off of just it's just a child theme with basically a style sheet, and I mean there's not a whole lot of styles, but it's basically the same thing as Steve talked about here. we've got this. This is the keyline template is Genesis. It's going to point to the Genesis folder and inherit everything essentially. And a lot of what we did was literally just take styles and images and lay in with style sheets. A few things that we had to do. Four functions all it took, or five I guess. All it took to have to make it get rid of things we didn't need.